So this is the first time I tell my story. 5 years ago, our family went through one of the biggest tests that a family can go through. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. The reality of cancer doesn't exactly set in once the news is given. The realization is actually in the process of recovery when the family takes a toll as they progress through the months and months after. Chemotherapy was the breaking point. It's heartbreaking to watch your mother go through depression day after day. So we had to do something. So I reached out to a couple of my friends and I asked them if they wouldn't mind wearing pink and white, and maybe we could take a few photos and show them to her and show her that support was there and present when she needed it the most. Because the thing is, my mother was not hiding from her illness. She was proudly embracing the battle that she was going through. A mass of people turned up for that one simple task of making a woman, a stranger to them, smile through her ongoing adversaries. And that showed me the positive impact of working in a team. But the question is, why stop there? If we could help one woman, one member of our society, why not help as many as we possibly can? So again, I reached out, and this time we put together a fundraiser, a bigger one, that included my mother as one of the main speakers. And with the help of the Women's Initiative Group, we managed to go from encouraging one woman to keeping her spirits lifted into providing early breast cancer detection tests to 200 women on the outskirts of Khartoum. It's important to mention that through every fleeting spark of motivation, ideas should be utilized. And in that moment, we managed to create a small but positive change. But then again, why stop there? Next time around, I aspire to do more. And not just when it came to breast cancer, because breast cancer was a personal fight to me. I didn't expect the entire world to relate to. It became more about, I need to find different ways to provide that same push that I needed to the people around me. So we worked very hard that year in a small initiative called Busma. We wanted to do something different, and instead of focusing on the elders, as my mother had tried to do during her advocacy, instead we focused on the teenagers. It was a different route, high schoolers in particular. The thing is, I believe that by working on the roots of society, we can slowly redefine the norms. And especially in our case when it came to breast cancer, because during those months and months, as you hear stories from family and friends and colleagues, you start realizing that breast cancer was more of a social problem, surrounded with social stigmas that descended through the generations above. So maybe by working from the bottom, we can build them up again as community pillars, showing them what they should be more aware of as they grow into active members of our society. A group of these teenagers volunteered and said that they would like to join our cause. I was thrilled, because why not allow the younger generation to take a part of something that they will later on grow into, and it would be something that would affect their lives on a long-term basis, but through experience. My team that year was comprised of over 30 students, and of those 30, 15 of them were between the ages of 13 and 16, I'm sorry. And they were the entire backbone of that initiative. We managed to work and create a small event sponsored by the Global Aid Hand, and we managed to do it on one of the biggest public grounds available in Khartoum. And especially on those grounds, because that would target a very colorful range of our Sudanese community. We managed to do a lot of things that night that I was proud of, but I'm just going to mention 2 points. We, or my team actually, managed to spread awareness in some of the most innovative ways possible. Never forgetting where they were and in what society they were in. They just used that as something to push their boundaries. The other thing was we thankfully managed to add another 100 mammograms to our tally list. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of those kids. But then again, why stop there? Months later, I sat them down, these same teenagers, and I asked them, okay, what do you want to do now? Shock was their first reaction, because they didn't think that we were going to ask them for their ideas. They thought that we were just going to expect them to go along with ours. And after a while, after they knew that we were listening and actually agreeing to enable them to do whatever it is that they wanted to do, they actually started voicing out their ideas more confidently. And the thing is, memories are made in moments. I asked them, what do you relate to the most? He said, children. I said, how do we help? Society tends to deal with them as a mass population of teenagers that aren't just there yet or too young to understand that they actually neglect the reality of them being so full of energy. And they're still not yet boxed in by society, which allows them to be as innovative as their imaginations let them. They are capable of accepting new information and their contradictions. And for that, they're the perfect untapped resource of a generation. We worked through the months later, collectively, on a small initiative that we called Fadli Maktabtak, which translates into empty your bookcase. And through it, we managed to gather thousands of books, which we then donated to schools in need. But that was their effort. I never forgot what gave me the push in the first place, because you never forget what gave you the spark. You never let yourself forget what gave you the spark in the first place. So I'm very proud to announce that with the combined efforts of my mother and the teams that worked throughout the years, we managed to provide early breast cancer detection tests to 1,000 women. So this is what I want to do in life. I want to show people that no matter their personal trials and struggles and fights, that something that surrounded a single household managed to spread its outreach and include so many different people, hundreds of people. So no matter how small the stones thrown, or no matter how different the directions they were thrown, the overlapping ripples exist, and that's volunteerism. It's basically working for your community, but through your community. But why stop there? Thank you.